We're back working on the DRZ125L. This is a 2004. Not much difference between the L version and the regular version and the E version or whatever. The only difference is this one does not have electric start. It's just got kickstart. So this came off of a 2003 DRZ125, not L version, but what I'm being told is that the airboxes just match up normally, but the carburetors are also the same as well. They also share carburetors with KLX and whatnot. They're Taiwan-based bikes. These are not Japanese bikes. Even though they got the Suzuki name, it's not actually a Suzuki. It's actually made in Taiwan. So we're going to repair this. We're going to pop these two on here, and we're definitely going to change the gas out. So check this out. This is the grossest thing you'll ever see. And people are probably going to be yelling at me for dropping it on the ground, but this garage has seen a lot worse. But anyways, we're going to clean this up. We're gonna wipe the tank out. We're going to clear that out. We're going to get some brand new gas in there. We're going to pop the carburetor on there and the airbox on there. And then we're going to see simply if it fires. The oil looked okay, just a little bit dark. And we just have to kind of cycle it through there. But we're going to get back to you as soon as these are replaced. By the way, when you want your plastics to look like this again, instead of this, what I use is 220 grit sandpaper. Then I up it to 500 afterwards. After the 500 grit sandpaper, it's 1200. And it comes out looking like brand new plastics again, instead of what would be this right here. So that's what I've been doing right now. As you can see, it starts here. Now let's rub that up a little bit. Look at that. Right there. So we're going to go 500 after that, and then 1200 after that. And it should look a lot better. So you can see these are already coming out real nice. So that's one way to get your plastics back, but again, it just degrades the ability for these to hold that plastic color any longer. But for restoration, simple, without buying a new one, that's the best way to do it. Well, look who's back from the dead. Put a new carburetor in there, put the pieces of the airbox we were missing on there, which cost actually a lot of money. We also cleaned up all the poop off the thing, off the seat and the plastics. We took lightly grit sandpaper, sanded the plastics down, just so that nice yellow color came back out of it, and whatever bird crap was on there is gone. I have to put the silencer back in the pipe, but everything is running pretty good right now. I just have to do some adjustments on the carburetor, and then we should be able to ready to rip it. Pretty excited over this one. Pretty simple fix. Total into this bike about $300. So keep an eye out for the ride and enjoy it. What's going on, everybody? This is a 2004 DRZ125L. In my previous video, I showed you I fixed some stuff on it, cleaned it up. This thing was sitting for years. It had probably 50, 100 birds that lived on it at one point in time or another. But anyways, I cleaned that off. We cleaned up the plastics using some sandpaper, light grit sandpaper, and then lighter grit sandpaper afterwards. It used to be really disgusting. The seat was really disgusting. I had no carburetor, had no airbox, had no filter, had nothing really to, you know, it was rough, basically. Long story short, there's still some things you could see, like it being pretty dirty here and there, but we're going to take it in the woods. This is the first time I'm taking it in the woods. It's 60 degrees in January in the Northeast, which makes no sense. So why not get out on the bikes? But anyways, let's give this a try. Turn the gas on, which you can see. Kickstand up. Now I didn't dial in the carb all the way yet, so it doesn't idle quite right just yet. Once I dial in the carb, it'll be a little bit better. But anyways, let's give this a rip. So the whole point of these bikes, they made them from, they had RM and then they had the DR. Back in the day, the DR bikes were the trail bikes. This is the DRZ, which is a little bit more of an upgrade from the DRs. And this is, Yamaha made the TTR, Kawasaki made the KLX, Suzuki made the DRZ. They all got together and they made better trail bikes with better suspension for the trails and a little bit quicker, higher output for 4-strokes. That's back in the day, they figured out how to make high output 4-stroke bikes. Well, they had low output back in the day, and then all of a sudden, you know, oh, it sounds good, huh? Okay, hang on. Loud noises! Well, the brakes do work, but they're not doing their best. And sounds good. All right, let's pop start this. All right. Anyways, they made the DRZs because they were higher efficiency, higher output, better on gas for trails, whereas the race bikes weren't the best on gas. And they had nicer suspension, but not quite as good. Oh my God, I haven't been here in a while. A lot of these trees are down. So these bikes, as you can see, they have good torque down low. So you can make it through pretty rough terrain like I'm going right now. So I'm off the trail on purpose. So as I was saying before about pit bikes are not made for the trails. They are not comfortable, although there are better pit bikes than other ones. For 800 bucks brand new, you can get a pit bike. These bikes are around 3 to 4 grand new, and they're a little bit better in the trails than a pit bike because they're a lot more comfortable. Exhibit A, that'd be a lot harder to do with a pit bike. Also over bumps like that, logs. This bike's actually really nice to drive in the trails. Another thing is, Honda had the CR and the XRs. The XRs were the old style bikes. The CR-Fs are the new style bikes. Since they're higher output, they're a lot more fun to drive around on. They got a lot more power down low. My brother likes to make fun of these and say they have foo-foo suspension too. But they're that way on purpose. They're not made for jumps, and they're not made to fly around on. They're just made to enjoy the trails and to have a lengthy time in them too. They're still quick. This thing probably goes like 50 miles an hour, something like that, which is really quick for a 125. So I'm gonna do what I shouldn't do, drive through this puddle. I'm not going through the deep part. Oh, I don't trust myself with these. I haven't been on a dirt bike in about a year. Anyways, let's try this. So, as you'll see in an upcoming video, these you could basically just idle through the water with no problem because they've got good torque. Whereas the KX or a two-stroke race bike, you have to pin it at all times to make low-end torque. So this bike's actually pretty sweet for the reason that it can get up hills like this no problem. I could just basically idle up this hill, no problem. So the target audience for a bike like this would be for somebody driving in trails like this. Up hills, no problem. You don't have to scream it. You don't have to brag. You can. This is the perfect bike for these trails, though. Hit a little jump. Then pause it right here. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's take another look at this bike. I put the silencer in it too, and I also put an air filter in just a little bit earlier. But anyways, it's nice and quiet now. We'll need new brake pads in the front. I do have to get better ones in the back as well. But this bike is pretty sweet. If I were to say KLX and CRF and DRZ and what's the other one? I don't even remember. YZF for Yamaha. These are the best bikes you can get for the trails, just for driving around, better on gas and stuff like that. If you're not looking to whip around and go real fast and go crazy with stuff, this is the best thing you're going to get for these kind of bikes. But anyways, this is the 2004 DRZ125L, and I hope you all enjoyed the video and see what these things are capable of. All right.